babble out there. You know, if you disagree with a Green, he'll say you're in denial, as if you're some kind of head case, right? What a lousy argument that is. You know, please put me on the couch, Jonathan Porridge, because you're so sane and, you know, I'm in denial. And no, I don't buy that. We're grown-ups. We need a tough, combative, rationalist argument. It's not going to come from business schools and MBAs, but there's technology that we can still have hope in. We can detect whether people are telling the truth about Monica and stuff like that by listening to their voices. We can expect in the next 10 years Sage to have voice-controlled software. You heard it here first. And if you think what the internet did to your exports, even in manufacturing, where a lot of your exports are to do with services as well as manufacturing, the internet opened up markets for you in Germany, in France, in America, and so on. Prepare not just for voice recognition, but with FaceTime, Apple's new system, and you mix that with Google's simultaneous translation of the world's 6,000 languages, you can talk to China, and they're going to understand you within the next 5 to 10 years. In English as fast as I talk. Is that going to open up markets for you? Yes. Is that more important than whether or not you're going to experience a double dip? Well, in the round, it is more important, because your ability to track that stuff, take advantage of it, and get out there to Shanghai, which I strongly recommend, that's more important than waiting for whether it's going to be a dip or a little rise. Get out there, read China Daily, follow what Google is doing on simultaneous translation, recognize how expressive the face is, Chinese included. When they're angry, you know they're angry. Right? There's no translation problems there. Right? And recognize what human beings can do. This is Einstein's paper with which he revolutionized modern physics. Here's the E equals mc squared. How long is that paper? Well, if you go to the front of it, that's the front. I showed you the back. That's the middle. 690 words long. That paper gave us nuclear power. So if you want innovation in your company, I suggest you recruit some scientists, some technologists, and you get them once a month, and everybody else, to discuss a book or a 690-word paper. Doesn't have to be Einstein. Read a book from cover to cover. It's a really fascist, authoritarian suggestion nowadays in the land of Heat magazine. Get that discussed once a month with somebody preparing a 10-minute introduction. That would be an innovation in British firms. That's what Einstein gave us, where the Chinese are now building more nuclear reactors than the rest of the world put together. So from new media, mobile translation, mobile face conferencing, to nuclear waste, mankind will grow the talents to fix problems through the right kind of forecasting and the right kind of research and development. Thank you so much. Well, when the AV guys are clapping, I know I did okay, because they've seen it all before. We got a moment, I think, if they'll allow me, if you want to not ask a question like a conference season rally, but make a criticism and throw a tomato. So if anybody would like to do that, I'd really appreciate it, because it's through heat that we can generate light. Yes, sir? Going on? Me?
Sorry,
got the wrong guy.
Oh dear, this is embarrassing. About fast train travel, and you're a big fan of Birmingham to London high speed and saving hours and hours. I mean, in effect, we're talking sort of, what, 20 minutes, half an hour? I mean, where is that in the scheme of things? I mean, is it really worth spending zillions of pounds on something like that just to save that amount of time? I mean, we've done it with High Speed 1, haven't we, in the south of England? We don't save an awful lot of time, 15 minutes perhaps to the south coast, at a cost of how much money? I mean, is there not a sort of trade-off between the fantastic technological development and human experience?
Well, very good. Can I have the next question, please? No, well, the short answer is I got to go. And that's the point. You know, that 20 minutes is a long time in politics, you know. And to get to Birmingham right now is interminable. To get to Liverpool is interminable. If you've read Chekhov, The Cherry Orchard, or any of his plays, they usually end with people going to Moscow, you know, from the countryside. And what happens is the hero or heroine says, they've gone. And somebody else goes, they've gone. And, you know, frankly, they were right to go, you know, and a community, even in Telford, is something you grow up in and get the hell out of, right? And it's important that people in Telford get to London fast, and Londoners get to Telford fast. And 20 minutes, if you look at the stock market, if you're trying to deal with China on the phone at, you know, 7 o'clock in the morning, or New York at 11 o'clock at night, 20 minutes is really important, especially when you're doing Wi-Fi on that train. So it costs a lot of money, but nobody said when George Stephenson invented the rocket, oh, well, look, you know, we'd prefer to kind of run there. You know, do we need this investment? And stuff like that. You know, we need, obviously everything's got to be assessed on its merits. I thought you were going to say that if the power supply behind the high-speed train remains coal-fired power generation without carbon capture and storage, then it's not going to be very good for the environment, which would be true.
That was the next bit.
But if it's nuclear-powered, or if it's fusion-powered, or if it's powered by that Sandia Laboratories air capture of CO2, that's what it's called, then, you know, there's no problem. And, you know, we need to revive engineering in this country, leave aside anything else. We don't need green jobs, because there aren't any. They're only to do with sort of sorting bits of plastic, very low paid. We need nuclear engineers. We need really good railway engineers. We need display engineers. And we need to move around the country like they do on the continent. You know, and it's all going to happen there anyway. If we want to be left behind, it's fair enough. They've got 3,000 kilometers of railway high-speed track on the continent. They're building another 2,000. They've got another 5,000 planned. We've got 68, right, from Dover to St. Pancras. You know, come on. And you know, people seriously question whether we should do this stuff. In the Far East, they're building they're planning to build a railway system that will connect Japan to Korea to China. Historic enemies, the three of them. Right? Will it end the enmity? Probably not. It might increase the enmity if you see the jostling that goes on the Tokyo Underground system. But it's something that we've got to have faith that we can do, that we should do, and that we will do. So I think that's probably all I got time for. Thank you so much.